The Middle East is once again at the center of a widening and deeply dangerous conflict. 4 weeks into an active war, the situation is escalating rapidly, with the United States, Israel, Iran, Hezbollah, and the Houthis all now entangled in what appears to be a multi-front military confrontation with no clear end in sight. U.S. military buildup, preparing for ground operations. Perhaps the most alarming development in this evolving crisis is the reported preparation by the Pentagon for possible weeks-long ground operations inside Iran. According to reports, the United States is drawing up plans that would deploy thousands of American service members into Iranian territory. This is not a minor logistical move. This is a significant escalation in American military posture in the region. Over the weekend, the USS Tripoli arrived in the CENTCOM, Central Command Area of Operation, carrying approximately 3,500 troops, including 2,500 Marines. The arrival of this naval asset signals that Washington is not merely watching from the sidelines. Military analysts suggest that if an operation is ordered, the objective could include seizing Iranian oil facilities or securing enriched uranium stockpiles. Both special forces and conventional military units are expected to be deployed if such an order is given. This level of preparation indicates that the United States is taking the threat posed by Iran's military and nuclear capabilities extremely seriously and is ready to act. Operation Rising Lion, striking Iran's nuclear chain. Over the weekend, the United States and Israel jointly launched a series of coordinated strikes against Iranian military infrastructure. The targets were significant. Iran's nuclear development facilities were directly hit in what Israeli officials are calling Operation Rising Lion. According to an Israeli military spokesperson, the strikes targeted the entire chain of nuclear production inside Iran. Factories, production capabilities, key components, centrifuges, and related infrastructure were all struck. The spokesperson confirmed that the operation was effective and that the nuclear production chain was hit hard. However, and this is a critical detail, the spokesperson acknowledged that while the strikes caused serious damage and delays, Iran's nuclear program was not completely destroyed. This means the threat has not been eliminated. Iran retains some capacity, and the conflict over its nuclear ambitions is far from resolved. This statement alone underlines why the Pentagon is preparing for a prolonged military engagement. A damaged but surviving nuclear program in a hostile nation is still a nuclear program. The Northern Front, Hezbollah, enters the fight. While Israel is focused on Iran to the east, it is simultaneously dealing with a serious threat to its north. Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militant group based in Lebanon, has continued launching dozens of rockets into Israeli territory every single day. This relentless campaign is stretching Israeli defense resources and keeping civilian populations in northern Israel under constant threat. The human cost of this northern front became painfully clear over the weekend when a 22-year-old U.S.-born Israeli soldier was killed in a Hezbollah rocket attack. He was fighting for Israel, and he paid the ultimate price. His funeral is scheduled to take place in Israel, a somber reminder that real lives are being lost behind every headline. In response, Israeli ground forces moved from northern Israel into southern Lebanon over the weekend. In a notable strategic development, Israeli forces also entered southern Lebanon through southern Syria, indicating that Israel is now approaching the Hezbollah fight through multiple different fronts simultaneously. This multi-directional approach suggests Israel is committed to dismantling Hezbollah's operational capabilities along its northern border. The Houthis join in. Yemen fires a ballistic missile. As if a two-front war was not enough, the Iran-backed Houthi movement in Yemen also entered the conflict over the weekend. The Houthis launched at least one ballistic missile, expanding the geographic scope of this crisis even further. With proxy forces in Lebanon, Yemen, and potentially other locations all now active, Iran's so-called axis of resistance is applying pressure on Israel and U.S. interests from multiple directions at once. Conclusion: what we are witnessing is not an isolated conflict. It is a regional war in motion, one that involves the world's most powerful military, a nuclear-ambitious Iran, a battle-hardened Hezbollah, and determined Houthi fighters. The coming days and weeks will be decisive. The world is watching closely.